Hello, everyone. My name is Cecilia, and welcome to this Nexgen Careers Xpert Talk. Today, we will be talking to previous Tesla engineer who now has turned his career around to support other young engineers taking a similar path as he once did. But before I introduce you to today's expert, I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to Nexgen Careers and what it is that we do. So Nexgen Careers is all about supporting individuals finding success in the future world of work and in the current world of work for that matter. So how do we do this? We do this by running courses, both online and on-site, in skills development and career design. And we also provide free resources for students and educators and actually whoever might enjoy them about the progress in careers and yeah, in different fields such as sciences, engineering and computing that we're going to talk about today, social impact, creative industries, and more. So these are fields that are most prominent or will be most prominent in the future world of work. So that's where our focus is with these resources. And we also run these weekly Xpert Talks, which we always post on LinkedIn, and you can just follow Nexgen Careers on LinkedIn and you will stay on top of whenever we have a new chat coming up. So now I would like to introduce today's guest, which is Markell Baldwin, who is a previous Tesla engineer, as we mentioned. So he kicked off his career 7 years ago by landing a job at Tesla, but now he has turned his career around and dedicates his time to helping others in a similar position as he was 7 years ago. So welcome, Markell. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you. I'm super excited and honored to have the opportunity to talk with you guys. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, and also I forgot to mention that Markell also has he's a content creator as well, and he creates really awesome videos on YouTube on career development in engineering specific. So make sure you go follow him on there as well after this talk. But yeah, let's just start off with the first question. I think that we're all pretty aware of what Tesla is and what they do and what they are doing for the future of transportation in our world. But speaking a little bit about the career side of Tesla, so and what Tesla has meant for you in your career. So what has Tesla meant for you in your career, Markell?
Yeah, that's a great first question. So I would say Tesla has meant a tremendous amount to me in a few different ways. First, it's a dream come true. So I was really just a college student that stumbled upon an article around freshman year in college about a Tesla Roadster. And I said, I don't know what that is, but I think that's going to be a big deal in the future. I want to go work there. And so I had interest in sustainability and I was following, so this is just to give you guys a timeline. This is like 2009 when I started college, and I discovered my interest for sustainability and environmentalism. And I thought that like the Toyota Prius was going to be like a valuable thing in the future. That just helps you understand the timing that I was in. I was like, Toyota Prius may be a big deal. And then I discovered the Tesla Roadster. I was like, yeah, no, the Prius will not be a big deal. Whoever this Tesla company is, I think they're going to do something really cool. And so I chose to major in electrical engineering in hopes to get a job at Tesla. And I had no idea how I'd actually get there. So I think a lot of students that I work with, they're in a similar boat where it's like such a lofty goal. And it's like, no. It was also a lofty goal for me. And I really wanted to get to Tesla, had no idea how I would actually get there. I'll save the details for the next question. So the first part I'll say is like, it was just like an awesome dream come true. And then the second part that I'll say is like, it was also like a dream and a nightmare. And I say that not to scare or be overwhelming or over dramatic, but it was one of the things where when I started at Tesla, you kind of like envision this dream of what you think something will be, and then it doesn't turn out exactly that way and you're kind of disillusioned. And so specifically for me, I thought if I worked hard in engineering, I would be able to like go to Tesla and it would just be like a celebration. I don't know why, but I thought it would just be like a celebration of engineers doing really fun things. And I forgot, or I guess, yeah, I didn't realize like engineering is all about problem solving. And so I had signed up to do really hard work. And I was like, ah, crap, I did not think this one through. And so there's a bit of disillusionment, but with that came like, a big reality check and a lot of growth, right? College, I would say through university, I worked really hard. Um, and then I think that was more like training camp, right? And it was training camps, kind of like a boot camp. And then when I got to Tesla, that was like the actual game. That was actually where everything was really being put to the test. And so there was a lot more growth there. And I would say it helped me be a better thinker, more critical thinker. It also helped me like better with my time. You're supposed to learn these things in school. I didn't clearly master that, and so it kind of took
I don't
me.
think any one of us did.
Yeah. And so it was a lot of personal growth, and then the last thing I would say is, it's been so fulfilling and meaningful. So the work that I've been able to do has just been valuable, not just from a sustainability perspective, but from a safety perspective, and being able to solve meaningful problems, and really like challenge myself and really work with others, because it's not just like on me and what I know. It's a collaborative effort, but working with others to be able to like do something meaningful and create and deliver a safe, really valuable product and offering is really cool. So I would say those are the three main things.
Thank you, thank you. That's really interesting, and it's so cool to hear that you had a goal already before you even started school, or like Tesla sort of gave you a purpose of pursuing engineering.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And how did you manage to land a job there? Because they're up there, it's one of those companies where I bet a lot of engineers and a lot of people in general would dream to work at. So how did you get there in the end?
Yeah, I'll tell the story in like a retrospective narrative, and then I'll go back and kind of explain why I think it was valuable. So basically, when I was in college, I wanted to essentially create what I later discovered was like the ultimate resume, right? I realized that I needed to have a set of experiences that made me a compelling candidate for Tesla or any company. I didn't know exactly what that looked like, but I knew that after my freshman year, when I had a blank sheet of paper asking for a job, I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get a job with this blank sheet of paper. So I started focusing on ways that I could develop my skills. And so I did as many different projects as I could. And I kind of started obviously with like class projects and then built up from there, which led to my first internship. And so I ended up working in the oil and gas industry for two different internships, two different companies. And at those internships, I had the chance to really dive deeper into like the electrical engineering world and understand applications of it. But moreover, I got to request an opportunity to learn more about being, energy conscious. So I had a project where I did lights, and I essentially like went around for different gas stations who were using like incandescent and halogen bulbs, and I said, can I do something like a cost savings initiative and say like put LEDs, compact fluorescent lights here to save money in the long run? And so my manager, my mentor gave me the opportunity to do that. And that was really kind of what I kind of focused on. It's like, let me find projects that demonstrate my interest in environmentalism. And so I was able to do that and ended up shifting to from oil and gas to automotive, where I was able to get internships there. And I guess a piece that I should also mention, I got internships from going to career fairs, applying online. I did everything that I could to just like show face. Like I had a LinkedIn profile, which will come really as a notable thing in a second. So I had the opportunity to work at Toyota, and I also had the opportunity to work at Chrysler. And at each one of those experiences, I got to see one end of really the product development life cycle. And the product development life cycle is just like the life cycle to develop a product, i.e. a car. So I got to see the very beginning of like, hey, what should the car features consist of? And then I got to see the other end of it, which was okay, we're now mass producing this. Does it meet our quality yield desires? So I got to see the extremes of that. And I think those two very different experiences helped me be in position for Tesla. But the way I actually got the Tesla opportunity was I had this very decked out resume, I'd like to think at least. And I, put that on LinkedIn, and Tesla found me on LinkedIn. I applied on their website. They didn't even discover me through the online portal, but they discovered my LinkedIn page, and they said it was like they saw that some of my experiences aligned with what they were looking for a specific role. And with that, I one tip that I always tell students is like apply in different avenues. Like having a great LinkedIn profile is also a great kind of like passive application, but there's like so many other ways that you have to go about it. But I think that one thing that was super valuable in my experience that led to Tesla discovering me and Tesla being interested in me was the intention that I took when navigating my college career. So what I mean by that was I always tried to do something to grow or move closer to like the space of sustainability. And I think that's really, really attractive for an employer because they're like, oh, this person is a go-getter. They move autonomously. They're not just, and there's nothing wrong with this, but like they're not just following the curriculum. They're saying, I see the curriculum and then I also want to do this. So that's kind of how I operated. And I think they were able to see that, and they had a lot of interest in me based on that.
That's such a cool story that you have. And I love the fact that you're focusing on skill sets. It's like, well, this piece of paper is not going to get me anywhere. So I might as well just go and get my own skills, and the initiative and creating your own projects and all these things, which are something that we talk about a lot at Nexgen Careers, and like encouraging this initiative and creating your own projects, because that's what's going to make you stand out in the end, for sure. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to stay on the engineering path since we're there, and like the field of engineering in itself, in electrical engineering. It's like one of the most, I guess, prominent fields in the future world of work and in the future of transportation, and especially Tesla as a company. But I just wanted to check in with you, since I guess these people who are watching this or joining this call are interested in this career and the field, and when you think about the future, right? So I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think the future is going to look like from like a careers perspective, mainly, for
Oh, that's
like
such a
5-10
fun
years? So we don't
question.
have to go like super far.
Yeah, no, I think that's an awesome question. And I just want to think about that for 5 seconds. I have a couple thoughts. So the first one, the first thought as far as like what the future of careers in the EE or hardware space that, and this is obviously my opinion, I think that one big thing is that's going to happen is this idea of like greater breadth for an engineer, meaning that the lines are going to start to become blurred between an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, a firmware engineer, and they're going to become a more cohesive like set of skills or set of like team dynamics. And that's just in order to like be more effective and being able to deliver a product really, really fast, right? Kind of like in the beginning, it's interesting, like in the beginning of my Tesla career, it was very like segmented. You had mechanical engineers, you had electrical engineers, and everybody was so disconnected. And then you realize how slow that made the projects and the progress, the overall rate of progress. But once you started to kind of like meld different areas where a mechanical engineer and also does data analytics, or electrical engineer is able to like better speak to a firmware engineer, you're able to move faster. And so one thing that I think as far as like a career in hardware, a career in electrical, or a career in mechanical engineering is this understanding of your adjacent fields, and really being able to like learn quickly and at minimum speak the language of every other kind of adjacent role, and really that's the minimum. But then next is being able to like dive in and work with people in those different domains. And I think that's going to make an engineer stronger, and just a more valuable asset. And and I think also with that, like you're going to be able to do projects a lot faster, right? Because you don't have that same, like, I have no idea what you're doing. Good luck. It's kind of like, here, I'm handing this off to you, but I've also kind of started some efforts. So it's a little bit more, less overwhelming for like an individual. So I think that's one major difference. Also, like one thing, I think it's like, just with the way that technology works is we're always, it's like a constant, how do we lower the threshold or the barrier of entry? Meaning that, like, if you think about 40 years ago, where you literally had a computer, or 50 years ago maybe, where a computer wasn't actually a machine, it was actually a person running calculations, right? And so you think about, what are the more tedious and manual things that we do today, and how can we essentially automate or have that be done by a computer? Meaning, some of the lower level, like, electrical engineering tasks may not even be done by hand in the future, and so you have to abstract yourself up to better architect. So you have to be able to think on a higher level. So for me, like, as an electrical engineer, I would work on soldering, I would work on printed circuit boards, PCBs, and I think that that technology will not necessarily go away, but the way we interact with it and use those tools is going to evolve over time. So I would say, being able to both adapt to the different tools that are always going to be kind of coming in and out of this space, but also being able to think on a higher level. Because, as an electrical engineer, I kind of focused on one set of commodities, but nowadays, and like, as I kind of matured through Tesla, that expanded, where I had to start thinking bigger, right? So if I was working on capacitive sensing technologies, okay, I understand the building blocks to make that, but what else can I make with that understanding? And so it's going to be very important for engineers to have a wider breadth, not, again, like, not just in adjacent field, adjacent disciplines, but just kind of like broader applications and fields, to understand, like, how can I just build anything? And so that's going to be a really cool and really, really valuable skill.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. And I think what you're mentioning is happening in a lot of other fields as well, where we need to understand the tasks of the people that we're working with and what they do, and how the whole machinery is working independently of what field you're in. And obviously there's things about the automations that we're talking about. I feel almost in every interview is about automating and computers,
Yeah.
which is, it's inevitable, and it's where the world is moving. And if one can go through school or move into a field with that mindset of, how can we automate this, that's going to be, I guess, valuable moving forward. So yeah, thank you for that. But now, today, enough about Tesla. No, I'm kidding. No, but today you're not working with Tesla anymore. You're doing your own thing with Resonance, and I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about that first, and then we can talk a little bit about what made you change paths and like move more towards the, I guess, humanistic side of engineering.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll give like a quick one-on-one of Resonance. And so Resonance is like a talent place and community for underrepresented people pursuing roles in tech. Essentially, I saw that when I started at Tesla, I didn't feel very supported or have, I would say, the resources that I connected with in order to thrive at my role at Tesla. It was very overwhelming, very daunting, and I struggled a lot in my first few months. And I think that's one of the, several reasons it's hard to just thrive in tech. It's just like a very competitive, not always supportive community. And I really wanted to change that paradigm and really focus on, how do we support and find pathways for more people to be able to enter this space, and not just enter it, but to thrive once they get in that space. And so I created Resonance with that in mind, where I wanted to focus on it being a community, being a resource where people can kind of early in their career or like in college, kind of come to Resonance or come to the resources that are provided from it, and be able to enhance or better direct where they're going in their career. And the idea is being able to connect on that platform gives you an advantage where you can also better connect with mentors or employers for opportunities. Because I think one of the biggest disconnects is the actual disconnect between the talent pool and the employers, where employers are like kind of like searching through LinkedIn, which sometimes work, but sometimes does not. But it's like, hey, there's dope people here. How about you work with the dope people that are, you know, in this network or in this community? So that's kind of the idea behind Resonance.
Awesome. Yeah. And if anybody wants to go and check out Resonance, it's joinresonance.com. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we really admire your initiative with that. Yeah, I think we covered the two things. Yeah, why you decided to found it, and yeah. Awesome. And then let's move on to, I guess, the last bit of this interview, which are 3 questions that we ask everyone that comes here. And 3 quick questions with 3 quick answers. So I'll get started. Okay. What good in the world does your job do?
I know these are supposed to be quick, but I'm like, oh man, this is a deep question. Like, I guess 2 ways of answering that is like, as a Tesla engineer, it was an environmental impact, but also like a safety impact. So making the world cleaner and ensuring people are safer during transportation. That's one piece. And then as far as Resonance, I would say is like the economic mobility that comes from being able to get a job in tech, and the opportunities that, you know, can come from, again, working within the tech industry.
Cool. And what part of your job makes you want to wake up in the morning?
Oh, that's an easy one. My favorite part of the day is always when I talk with a student and they either have an interview or they just got an offer or something, you know, something, some milestone happens within their career that always gets me like super, super excited. So that's probably my favorite part.
Amazing. And what advice would you give to someone looking to get into your field?
Oh, there's so many things. This can't be quick, but I'll try.
Don't worry, we got 3 minutes.
Okay, I would say number 1, don't quit. Number 2, don't do it alone. Number 3, find what's fun. Let's see. Number 4, put yourself out there, especially when you think that you're not qualified. Not even when, but especially when you don't feel like you're qualified, because that's where you're pushing yourself and pushing to like the edge of your skill set. So that's where you want to be. You want to operate in that zone. And let's see, is there anything else that I can think of very quickly? I would say, you know, back to the number 3, as far as making it fun, I'll elaborate on that and say, like, for me, what making it fun means is like, it's, I think like a misconception is like, it's like sunshine and rainbows every day. It's like, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, figure out what your intrinsic motivators are. And for me, the intrinsic motivator is always like the sense of growing, and that feels good. And that's fun for me to grow. So if that helps me do the actions that are required to grow, as opposed to like focusing first on an action. Like, I don't like reading. So if you say you need to read, you need to do this, you need to do that, I'm probably not going to do it because it's not tied to my internal or my intrinsic motivator. So first discover what those intrinsic motivators for you are and use that as the root for whatever you do. And that's what's going to make it fun. And now, because of that, I enjoy reading. I enjoy doing these things and like watching, you know, educational videos, because it's tied into my motivators and I can see the correlation. So make things fun means tying it into that internal thing and understanding what that action looks like. So that's probably one of the biggest things. And that, with that, it's the whole sense of like, you'll never have to work. You'll always kind of have that sense of joy and internal motivation to keep you going.
We got a little heart there from Andrea. Yeah, that's wonderful to hear, and we support that, everything that you said, all the way. So thank you for those advice, and I think that's also can go for other careers and other fields. So thank you for that, Markell. That was my last question, and I just wanted to thank everyone who joined us today. We can all stay on if you have any questions for Markell, and we'll do a quick Q&A after I finish the recording. But I just wanted to officially thank you all for joining, and thanking Markell for joining. And make sure you connect with him on LinkedIn. If you want to stay in touch, go check out his YouTube channel. And if you want to stay on top of these talks, go and follow Nexgen Careers on LinkedIn. And that's it. Thank you so much, Markell.